Hello! Welcome back to SwitchTop. Today, we're counting down the top 30 best RPGs you can play on the Nintendo Switch right now. These games are absolutely incredible and offer some of the best adventures in gaming. Let's get into it. Kingdom Come: Deliverance drops you into 15th century Bohemia as Henry, a blacksmith's son seeking revenge after his village is destroyed. This is hardcore medieval realism at its finest. You'll need to learn how to read, practice sword fighting until your skills actually improve, and maintain your armor and weapons, or they'll fall apart mid-battle. The combat system is all about timing and positioning, with different attack angles and defensive stances that require genuine practice to master. You can talk your way out of situations if your speech skills are high enough, or sneak around at night stealing from sleeping villagers. The story follows Henry's growth from nobody to a skilled warrior caught up in political intrigue and civil war. There's no hand-holding here. You can fail quests, make enemies of entire towns, and the game remembers your choices. The world feels truly alive, with NPCs following daily schedules, and you'll need to eat, sleep, and stay clean to maintain your reputation. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Complete Edition on Nintendo Switch is a story-driven, open-world RPG where you play as Geralt of Rivia, a monster hunter navigating a war-torn continent while searching for Ciri and confronting the looming threat of the Wild Hunt. The narrative stands out for its mature tone, layered characters, and meaningful choices that influence quests, relationships, and world outcomes, making every decision feel impactful rather than cosmetic. Gameplay focuses on exploration, contracts, and dynamic questing across large regions filled with villages, ruins, and hidden encounters that often unfold into deep side stories. Combat blends precise swordplay, dodging, alchemy, bombs, and magical signs, encouraging preparation and tactical thinking before major fights. Progression is flexible through skill trees, gear upgrades, and build customization, letting you shape Geralt into different playstyles like combat-heavy, alchemy-focused, or sign-oriented. The world design constantly rewards curiosity with organic discoveries, while activities like monster hunting and Gwent add variety to the gameplay loop, creating an immersive and consistently engaging RPG experience in portable form.
Ah! Eternal fire, keep me safe.
Yeah, no.
I'll miss a woman's time.
Disco Elysium is unlike any RPG you've played. You're a detective who woke up with complete amnesia in a trashed hostel room, and you need to solve a murder case while piecing together who you even are. There's zero combat in this game. Instead, everything revolves around dialogue, investigation, and internal conversations with different aspects of your own psyche. Your skills literally talk to you. Your logic might spot clues, while your electrochemistry tempts you towards substance abuse, and your ancient reptilian brain pushes primal urges. Character building is all about investing in these 24 different skills that open up new dialogue options and ways to approach problems. You can build a fascist, a communist, an art cop, a superstar rock star detective, or anything in between, and the game adapts to your choices with thousands of lines of responsive dialogue. The writing is absolutely phenomenal, mixing noir detective story with dark humor and genuine philosophical questions about politics, mortality, and what it means to be human. Your partner, Kim, is one of gaming's best companions, and the mystery itself unfolds across multiple layers.
A man in his late 20s stands behind the counter, inspecting a stuffed seabird. As you approach, he gives you a sideways glance.
NieR Automata is a narrative-focused action RPG set in a ruined Earth, where android units like 2B, 9S, and A2 battle machine lifeforms in a long, seemingly endless war on behalf of humanity. The story begins as a straightforward, mission-driven conflict, but gradually unfolds into a layered exploration of consciousness, purpose, and existence, with multiple routes and endings that reveal new perspectives and deepen the overall narrative without feeling repetitive. Gameplay mixes fast-paced hack-and-slash combat with RPG progression and constant gameplay variety, smoothly shifting between open 3D exploration, side-scrolling sequences, and shoot-'em-up style sections that keep the pacing fresh. Combat emphasizes fluid movement, precise dodging, melee combos, pod-based ranged attacks, and a flexible chip system that allows deep customization of abilities and stats. Exploration across interconnected regions is rewarding, with side quests that add emotional context and world building, creating a reflective and immersive RPG experience that stands out for its unique structure and evolving gameplay loop.
Ma'am?
What is it?
I was going to send you the map data I collected earlier.
Do it.
Fire Emblem Three Houses casts you as a mercenary turned professor at a military academy, where you choose to lead one of 3 house factions, each with distinct students and storylines. The game splits between 2 distinct phases. During exploration, you wander the monastery talking to students, building relationships through tea parties and shared meals, and engaging in side activities that strengthen your bonds and teaching effectiveness. Then, combat takes over with grid-based tactical battles where positioning and unit matchups determine victory. Swords beat axes, axes beat lances, lances beat swords, and you'll need to consider terrain, range, and character abilities to survive. As professor, you directly influence how your students grow by choosing which skills to improve during weekly instruction, eventually promoting them into advanced classes like Paladin, Mage, or Wyvern Rider based on their strengths. The story centers on 3 nations on the brink of war, and your house choice dramatically affects which perspective you experience, with some students becoming allies or enemies depending on your path.
Only a fool challenges me.
Xenoblade Chronicles X strands humanity on planet Mira after Earth's destruction, and you're a customizable blade operative helping establish New Los Angeles while exploring this massive alien world. The combat system is real-time but tactical. You auto-attack while choosing between arts tied to specific weapon positions and timing, soul voices that trigger combo attacks with your party members. The real game changer is unlocking skells around 30 hours in, which are massive mechs you pilot that completely transform exploration and combat with flight capabilities and heavy weaponry. The world is absolutely enormous, with 5 distinct continents ranging from bioluminescent forests to volcanic wastelands, all seamlessly connected with verticality that begs for exploration. You'll take on story missions that slowly unravel the mystery of what happened to Earth and why these specific humans survived. But the game really encourages you to tackle side missions that flesh out your NPC party members and the colonists trying to survive.
Upper hand! Shadow strike! Scream edge!
Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake takes the classic JRPG and gives it a gorgeous visual overhaul, with pixel characters on detailed 3D environments that look like living dioramas. You start by creating your hero, and then building a 4-person party at the tavern from 6 different classes: warriors, mages, priests, merchants, martial artists, and thieves, each with distinct abilities and growth patterns. The turn-based combat is straightforward but strategic, requiring you to manage MP carefully, exploit enemy weaknesses, and decide whether to attack, defend, use skills, or switch equipment mid-battle. You're on a quest to defeat the archfiend Baramos, traveling across a massive world map that mirrors real Earth geography, visiting towns inspired by different cultures, from Egypt to Japan to Europe. The game has a day-night cycle that affects NPC behavior and shop availability, and you'll need to manage your inventory weight, since carrying too much equipment slows you down. The class system lets you change vocations at a special shrine, letting characters learn abilities from multiple classes to create hybrid builds. Xenoblade Chronicles starts with an incredible premise. The entire game takes place on 2 massive Titan corpses, frozen in eternal battle. And you play as Shulk, who wields the Monado, a legendary sword that lets him see glimpses of the future. The combat happens in real time, where you control one character while AI handles your party, using auto attacks to fill your arts gauge so you can trigger special abilities with different effects. Some inflict status effects, others work as positional attacks, dealing bonus damage from the side or back. The vision system is the game changer. You'll see futures where party members die, giving you a chance to alter fate by warning allies, switching to defensive tactics, or focusing down the enemy before they can unleash their devastating attack. The story follows Shulk's revenge quest against the Mechon, robotic enemies who attacked his home. But it evolves into something much bigger, involving the nature of gods, fate, and free will. The world design is breathtaking. You're exploring the mechanical interior of one Titan and the organic, grassy plains of another, with areas so vast they take real-world minutes to cross. Pokémon Legends Arceus completely reimagines the Pokémon formula by dropping you into feudal Hisui, the ancient Sinnoh region, where you're tasked with creating the first ever Pokédex for a time when people fear Pokémon. The gameplay shifts to open-world exploration, where Pokémon roam freely in the environment. You can sneak through grass, throw berries to distract them, or toss Pokéballs directly at them without entering battle if you're skilled enough. Combat becomes more action-oriented with the strong style and agile style system that lets you sacrifice speed for power, or vice versa, adding strategic depth to traditional turn-based battles. You'll take on main missions that advance the story about strange space-time distortions, while accepting requests from villagers that range from catching specific Pokémon to gathering items or demonstrating certain moves. The game introduces Alpha Pokémon, larger, more aggressive variants that pose serious threats and require preparation to catch or battle. Instead of gyms, you're working to complete Pokédex entries by catching multiples of each species and witnessing them use specific moves in different styles. Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen starts when a dragon rips out your heart, marking you as the Arisen, and you set out for revenge with customizable pawns, AI companions you design and recruit from other players. The combat system is incredibly physical and dynamic. You can climb onto large monsters, Shadow of the Colossus style, stabbing at weak points while they thrash around, trying to shake you off, or grab smaller enemies and throw them off cliffs. You choose from 9 vocations, including Strider, Fighter, Mage, Ranger, Assassin, and more, each with completely different playstyles and skill sets that you level up independently. Your main pawn learns from your behavior and tactics, then gets hired by other players who can rate them and send back gifts and knowledge about enemies they encountered. The world shifts between a fantasy medieval setting with bandits and griffins to deeper, darker areas filled with undead and demons, and nighttime is genuinely dangerous, with stronger enemies and limited visibility. The story involves political intrigue, dukes' courts, and cult mysteries, but the real draw is the exploration and combat experimentation.
They grow frenzied!
Dark Souls Remastered is the game that defined challenging action RPGs, dropping you into Lordran as an undead warrior seeking to ring 2 bells of awakening while slowly uncovering the apocalypse that destroyed this world. The combat is all about patience and observation. You manage stamina for every attack, dodge, and block, learning enemy patterns through repeated attempts until you can perfectly time your rolls through attacks and find windows to strike back. Death is the teacher here. When you die, you drop all your souls, the game's currency and experience, and respawn at the last bonfire checkpoint, with one chance to retrieve them before they're lost forever. The world design is brilliant interconnected verticality, where shortcuts you unlock loop back to earlier areas, and there's minimal hand-holding. You piece together the story through item descriptions and environmental storytelling. You build your character by leveling stats that affect different aspects, like health, stamina, or specific weapon scaling. And the equipment system lets you wield anything from giant ultra greatswords to quick daggers, each with completely different movesets. Skyrim opens with you on an execution block, before a dragon attack saves your life, revealing that you're Dragonborn, able to absorb dragon souls and use their power through Thume shouts that provide abilities like slowing time or launching enemies with your voice. The game is about complete freedom. You can ignore the main quest entirely and become a master thief with the Thieves Guild, an assassin with the Dark Brotherhood, a wizard at the College of Winterhold, or just a wanderer exploring Nordic ruins filled with Draugr undead. Combat lets you mix and match any combination of weapons, spells, and shields across both hands, so you might dual-wield swords, cast destruction magic with one hand while healing with the other, or sword and board tank your way through dungeons. The leveling system improves skills through use. Swing swords to increase one-handed, cast spells to level magic schools, and sneak around to boost stealth, with perks unlocking at each level that enhance your playstyle. Dragons randomly appear throughout the world, forcing spontaneous aerial battles, where you ground them with damage before engaging in melee, and absorbing their souls lets you unlock more powerful shouts.
It's you and me, prisoner! Stay close! Yeah! What does it take to kill this monster? Straight up, you damn traitor! Out of my way! We're escaping to kill this thing! You're not stopping us this time! Fine! I hope that dragon takes you all to Sovngarde!
Octopath Traveler 0 is a story-driven JRPG set in the world of Orstera, following a customizable protagonist whose journey begins with the destruction of their hometown, leading to a personal quest centered on rebuilding, exploration, and uncovering the truth behind the events that shaped their past. Unlike the traditional structure with fixed main heroes, the game focuses on your created character, while allowing you to recruit a wide range of allies who join both your party and your growing settlement. Gameplay stays rooted in strategic turn-based combat, using the break and boost system, where identifying enemy weaknesses and timing enhanced actions plays a key role in battles. The combat is further expanded with larger party formations and positioning mechanics that add extra tactical depth. Exploration involves traveling across diverse regions, completing story quests, and engaging in side content that enriches the world and its lore. A major progression loop comes from rebuilding and expanding your hometown, unlocking facilities, strengthening resources, and creating a sense of long-term growth that ties gameplay and narrative together.
Works like a charm. Let me. Now.
Right. That hurt.
What should I do? Be strong.
Sea of Stars is a love letter to classic JRPGs that follows Valir and Zale, two solstice warriors who can eclipse the moon and sun to fight the evil alchemist threatening their world. The turn-based combat has an active timing system where you can boost attack damage or reduce incoming damage by hitting button prompts at the perfect moment, keeping you engaged rather than just selecting commands. Combat locks let you break enemy attacks by hitting their weaknesses with specific damage types before they can cast, adding a puzzle-like layer where you need to coordinate your party's abilities. You'll solve environmental puzzles using character abilities outside of battle, swim through underwater sections, and navigate platforming challenges that break up the combat. The story starts simple, with childhood friends training to become warriors, but deepens as you learn about the immortal alchemist's tragic past and the cyclic nature of the conflict. There's no random encounters. You see enemies on the map and can choose to engage or avoid them. And cooking meals at campfires provides buffs for upcoming battles. Trails in the Sky first chapter introduces Estelle and Joshua, two young bracers, adventurers for hire, who help people with problems ranging from monster extermination to finding lost items, while maintaining political neutrality. The combat is grid-based tactical, where positioning matters enormously. You move characters around the battlefield to get in range for physical attacks, or place area effect magic spells to hit multiple enemies without catching allies in the blast. The Orb Mint system lets you customize characters by slotting elemental quartz that provide stat boosts and unlock magic spells based on specific combinations, letting you build characters toward physical combat, support healing, or devastating offensive magic. The story starts cozy and lighthearted as the duo travels across the kingdom, completing requests and advancing in bracer rank. but slowly builds toward a conspiracy that threatens the entire nation. Every NPC in every town has unique dialogue that changes as the story progresses, making the world feel genuinely alive and rewarding you for talking to everyone.
How's this? Prepare yourself! Yeah! Joshua!
Got it!
Unicorn Overlord is a tactical RPG set in a war-torn fantasy world where you follow Prince Elaine as he leads a growing liberation army to reclaim territories seized by a powerful empire. The story focuses on rebuilding alliances, liberating nations, and forming bonds with a diverse cast of characters, creating a steady sense of scale and progression as the campaign unfolds. Gameplay blends overworld exploration with strategic, large-scale battles that emphasize planning over fast reflexes. You travel across a broad map, liberate towns and forts, recruit allies, and manage resources that directly support your army's strength. Combat centers on organizing squads made up of different classes, each with unique roles, ranges, and abilities, while battles play out automatically based on formations and tactical settings you prepare in advance. Positioning, unit synergy, and loadout planning are key to success, encouraging thoughtful experimentation rather than simple brute force. Alongside the main campaign, side quests and character interactions add depth to the world, creating a strategic RPG loop that balances narrative progression, army management, and methodical tactical decision-making.
Forward! Brace yourself!
Does this suit you?
Witness the royal blade!
Citizen Sleeper 2 casts you as a sleeper, a digitized human consciousness in an artificial body that's deteriorating, trying to survive in the harsh reality of space stations on the edge of corporate-controlled systems. The gameplay revolves around dice-based actions, where you wake each cycle with a pool of dice showing different values, then assign them to various activities like repairing your ship, taking on delivery jobs, hacking corporate systems, or building relationships with the station's inhabitants. Lower dice values mean higher chances of failure and complications, while high rolls guarantee success, creating tension as you decide which tasks deserve your best dice and which you're willing to risk. Time is your enemy since your body degrades each cycle, requiring medicine to maintain functionality, so you're constantly balancing survival needs against long-term goals. The story unfolds through multiple interconnected narrative threads as you take on contracts from different factions, each offering unique paths through the game, with meaningful choices that lock you out of other options. Trails Through Daybreak introduces a new arc in the long-running series, following Van Arkwright, a Spriggan, an underground jack-of-all-trades who takes on legally gray jobs that police can't handle. The combat system offers two modes that you swap between seamlessly: field battles, where you attack enemies directly in the environment for quick encounters, and command mode, which transitions to traditional turn-based tactical combat for serious fights where positioning and turn order manipulation matter. Van uses a weapon called the NieR that transforms into 8 different forms: sword, guns, fists, letting you switch combat styles on the fly to exploit enemy weaknesses. The alignment system tracks your choices between law, gray, and chaos throughout investigations, affecting available solutions and how characters perceive you. You'll investigate cases by gathering evidence through talking to witnesses, examining crime scenes, and using Van's orbment to analyze clues. Then, piece together what happened before confronting suspects.
Thanks, pal.
A chance! I'll dice you up! Keep it up!
Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch is a Studio Ghibli animated adventure where young Oliver's mother dies suddenly, and he discovers he can travel to a magical parallel world where saving people's hearts there can help people back home, including potentially bringing his mother back. The combat is real-time but tactical, You control Oliver and 2 party members who can summon familiars, creature companions that actually do the fighting while you run around the battlefield, avoiding attacks and issuing commands. You'll catch familiars throughout the world like Pokémon, each belonging to different species with unique stats, abilities, and evolution paths, and you can have 3 equipped per character to switch between based on enemy weaknesses. The magic system requires Oliver to draw glyphs on the touchscreen to cast spells, and you'll complete alchemy recipes by combining items you find to create better equipment and consumables. The story is genuinely emotional, dealing with loss, grief, and Oliver's growth as he helps broken-hearted people in both worlds, taking courage from one person to help another who lost theirs. Monster Hunter Rise perfects the series formula, letting you hunt massive creatures across beautiful Japanese-inspired environments using 14 completely different weapon types that each feel like learning a new game. The combat is all about learning monster patterns, studying how they move, recognizing tells before big attacks, positioning yourself to hit weak points, and breaking specific body parts for extra rewards and to weaken their abilities. Wire bugs are the game changer, giving you grappling mobility to zip around the environment, recover instantly from attacks, and execute unique silkbind moves for each weapon that add entirely new combo options and utilities. You'll track monsters using endemic life rideable creatures that provide mobility and environmental helpers that offer temporary buffs or damage. The gear system is the core progression loop. You hunt monsters for specific materials, forge weapons and armor from their parts, and use that better gear to take on even more dangerous creatures in an endlessly satisfying cycle. Chained Echoes is a love letter to classic 16-bit RPGs that follows a group of heroes trying to stop a war between 3 kingdoms while piloting giant mechs called Sky Armors. The turn-based combat uses an overdrive system that's constantly shifting. There's a gauge that moves between different zones, and you want to keep it in the green sweet spot, where your attacks are stronger and abilities cost less. But using certain skills pushes it toward red, where enemies get advantages instead. You'll switch between on-foot battles with your party and mech combat, where the same characters pilot massive machines with entirely different abilities and strategies. The game has 0 random encounters. You see enemies on the map and can choose to engage. And there's no experience points. Instead, your characters grow stronger by finding grimoire shards hidden throughout the world. You're constantly getting new party members with unique abilities, and the skill board lets you customize each character by unlocking passive bonuses and new moves. Tears of the Kingdom sends Link back into a Hyrule that's been transformed by islands floating in the sky and a massive cave system beneath the surface, all while Ganondorf's return threatens everything. The core gameplay revolves around 4 new abilities that completely change how you interact with the world. Ultra Hand lets you grab and stick objects together to build vehicles, bridges, and flying machines. Fuse allows you to combine weapons with materials to create unique gear like a sword with a boulder attached, or arrows with eyeballs for homing shots. Ascend lets you swim up through ceilings to reach higher areas, and Recall rewinds time for specific objects. Combat is more creative than ever because fused weapons break the old system wide open. You're attaching monster horns, mining rocks, and even enemy parts to create gear with different damage types and effects. The story follows Link and Zelda as they discover ancient secrets about Hyrule's founding, while dealing with mysterious gloom that saps your maximum health in the depths below. Dragon Quest XI's follows the Luminary, a young man who discovers he's the reincarnation of an ancient hero, then gets branded as a demon and must go on the run while gathering allies to prevent an apocalypse. The turn-based combat is classic JRPG done right. You choose commands for each party member, exploit enemy weaknesses with different spell types and abilities, and can see enemies on the map to avoid or engage as you choose. Each character has a skill tree where you invest points into different weapon types and abilities, letting you build them as specialists or hybrid fighters who can switch weapons mid-battle for different situations. The PEP power system activates after characters take enough actions in battle, putting them in a hyped state where they can unleash devastating combo attacks with other pepped party members. You'll explore a massive world with distinct kingdoms, each facing their own problems, from a Venice-inspired canal city to a Las Vegas casino town to Japanese-inspired villages. Ni no Kuni 2 follows Evan, a young king who loses his throne in a coup and must build his own kingdom from scratch while recruiting citizens and allies to create a nation that promotes peace across the world. The combat is real-time action, where you directly control characters, dodge rolling away from attacks, and unleashing melee combos and magic spells, with cooldown timers that require tactical thinking about when to use your strongest abilities. Higgledies are the game's twist-adorable elemental spirits that follow you in battles and provide support abilities when you gather near them, from offensive magic blasts to healing circles to buffs that enhance your attacks. The kingdom-building system is surprisingly deep, letting you recruit hundreds of citizens who work in facilities like weapon shops, armor stores, and research centers that unlock new gear and abilities as you upgrade them. You'll explore a gorgeous animated world with towns to visit and dungeons to clear, but you also engage in large-scale skirmish battles where you command an army in real-time strategy segments, directing units to attack enemy forces or capture strategic points. Shin Megami Tensei 5, Vengeance, drops you into a Tokyo that's been transformed into a demon-infested desert wasteland called Dot. And you become a Nahobino, a fusion of human and demon, with the power to fight back and decide the world's fate. The press-turn combat system is brutally strategic. Hitting enemy weaknesses or landing critical hits earns you extra turns. But enemies get the same advantage against you, so one mistake can lead to your entire party getting wiped before you can react. You'll recruit demons by negotiating with them mid-battle, answering their questions and offering items or money to convince them to join you. And these demons can be fused together to create stronger ones that inherit skills from their components. Building the right team with complementary skills and covering elemental weaknesses is essential because bosses are genuinely difficult and require preparation and strategy. The Vengeance Edition adds an entirely new storyline path called the Canon of Vengeance that diverges early in the game, introducing new characters and a different perspective on the conflict between order and chaos. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 follows two groups of soldiers from warring nations, Noah's team from Kev's and Mio's team from Agnes, who discover they're being manipulated and decide to work together to reach Swordmarch and learn the truth about their world. The combat system is real-time, with auto attacks that build arts, special abilities tied to cooldowns that you trigger manually, and you'll position yourself during battle to land positional attacks that deal bonus damage from the side or back of enemies. The interlinking system lets pairs of characters fuse into a single, powerful Ouroboros form, with its own abilities and a time limit, essentially giving you controllable super modes to unleash during tough encounters. Each character has a role, attacker, defender, or healer, and you'll swap between controlling different party members to adjust tactics on the fly, building aggro with defenders while attackers exploit openings and healers keep everyone alive. Chain attacks pause the action and let you string together massive combos by strategically ordering character attacks to build a damage multiplier, often determining whether you can actually win tougher battles.
can never go wrong with some ether.
Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door sends Mario on a quest to find 7 crystal stars and rescue Princess Peach, while exploring the coastal town of Rogueport and the dangerous areas beyond. The combat is turn-based with an action command twist. You need to time button presses during your attacks to deal extra damage or successfully defend to reduce incoming harm, keeping every battle engaging instead of just selecting options from a menu. Mario and his partner work together in fights, and you'll recruit different companions throughout the adventure, like Goombella, who can analyze enemies, Koops, who hits enemies from range, and Vivian, who can hide you from attacks, each with unique abilities both in battle and for solving puzzles in the overworld. The badge system lets you equip different abilities that modify how Mario fights, from increasing jump damage to letting you perform stylish moves for audience appeal, which fills your star power gauge for devastating special attacks. Octopath Traveler II improves on the original by giving you 8 unique protagonists, whose individual stories are more interconnected, from Oswald, the imprisoned scholar seeking revenge, to Throne, the assassin trying to escape her masters. The HD 2D visuals are even more stunning than the first game, mixing pixel art characters with detailed 3D environments, dynamic lighting, and depth of field effects that make every scene look like a diorama. The combat uses the boost and break system, where you spend turns discovering enemy weaknesses, then exploit those weaknesses with the right weapon types or elemental magic to break their defense, stunning them and leaving them vulnerable to boosted attacks that consume BP points for massive damage. Each character's path action lets them interact with the world differently. Oswald can mug people at night, Hikari challenges NPCs to duels to learn their techniques, Casti concocts medicine from ingredients, and Agnia captivates townsfolk to have them follow her, creating different solutions to problems.
The places you go, the deeds you do, the tales whose hero you become. Every road is yours to take. Octopath Traveler 2, February 24th, 2023.
Persona 5 Royal puts you in the role of Joker, a high school student with a criminal record who forms the Phantom Thieves, a group that enters corrupt people's minds to steal their distorted desires and force them to confess their crimes. The game splits between 2 distinct modes: daily life in Tokyo, where you attend school, work part-time jobs, build relationships with confidants through hanging out and helping with their problems, and dungeon crawling in the metaverse, where you fight shadows using your persona powers. Combat is turn-based with the One More system. Hitting an enemy's weakness or landing a critical gives you another turn, and knocking all enemies down lets you perform an all-out attack for massive damage or negotiate to recruit that shadow as a new persona. You'll fuse personas together in the Velvet Room to create stronger ones that inherit skills, and building relationships with confidants unlocks new fusion abilities and gameplay benefits that make you stronger in combat.
I'll break them. That should do.
Persona! Sondrion! All enemies are down!
Dragon Quest I and II HD 2D Remake reimagines the first 2 entries of the Erdrick saga with a modern presentation, while keeping the core structure of classic turn-based JRPG design. The story of the first adventure follows a lone hero, descended from a legendary lineage, on a quest to defeat a powerful evil and restore peace to a threatened kingdom. While the second chapter expands the narrative with multiple descendants uniting to face a larger, world-spanning threat. Gameplay focuses on traditional turn-based combat, where managing spells, abilities, and enemy weaknesses is essential, supported by refined menus and smoother pacing that make progression feel more fluid. Exploration plays a central role, with expansive overworld maps, towns, dungeons, and hidden locations, encouraging steady discovery and classic adventure-style progression. The shift from a solo journey to a party-based system in the second story adds more tactical depth through character roles and team synergy. And that's the top 30 best RPGs on Nintendo Switch. These games offer hundreds of hours of incredible adventures, and honestly, you can't go wrong with any of them. Drop a comment letting me know which ones you've played and what your personal favorites are. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.